Welcome to the Football Exponential podcast. Today I'm joined by my usual partner Frank.
Yeah. Hi, Chica. Hi, guys. How we doing?
It's been a it's been a good weekend though. Yeah, it's been a good
Uh,
weekend.
Depends who you ask. Depends who you ask, though. I don't think I've enjoyed Premier League football this weekend. But you know what? There's still some game left, so we'll
Yes,
see. But it's not.
yesterday's loss was the first loss like in a long while. It was just so. Let's go. Better way to start than Chelsea. No other better team to start than Chelsea. I wanted us to discuss something, not really about the whole Chelsea because not really about the whole Chelsea project because we have 1 week we won't be able to dissect everything. So it's too
Yeah.
much to talk about. Let's just go to one aspect, the goalkeeping department or the goalkeeping aspect. Chelsea have spent 90, more than 91 million euros on five goalkeepers: David Chances, Jorgensen, Slonina, Pandas, and Petrovic. And yet,
Um. It's but yeah, I think it's also important to add a bit of context. Most Solana and Pendas are they are developmental projects. Pandas is still about 86, about 17 or 18,
he was
playing
he
in the
was
second
quite
division.
more expensive than Slonina. I was surprised. He was
Yeah,
14. Slonina was 10.
Solin,
Slonina was
Solina. I think
10.
Solina was probably signed, I believe, under the previous regime, under the Abramovich era. I don't think it was
No,
Premier League signing.
it was under this guy. Slonina was signed
Oh,
in January. It was under with the likes of Madueke. That season, Madueke came around,
okay,
and then Madueke, and then I think the not Maresca, Enzo Fernandez. That's in summer.
Fernandez, yeah,
Yeah,
Modric, and those
yeah.
flops. Yeah.
So continue.
So yeah, just yeah, you were outlining
So,
our discussion.
do
Yeah.
you think? Why do you think Chelsea have been unable to make it work in the goalkeeping department?
Yeah,
Because do you know why I
it's
framed it this way? Well, I framed it this way because I framed it this way. I'm starting to dislike Maresca, and it's public knowledge. But at the same time, I have to be real. The reason why I don't want to put it on Maresca is people are making it seem like what he said in the press. What do you want him to say? He can't come and tell you
oh
that.
yeah,
So
oh yeah,
I have
yeah.
not. Instead, I
You
like
can't.
what he said in press conference that he's backing Enzo. Now, this is where I have issues with Maresca, and I was telling one of my friends three things that are so important. Maresca is the only coach that in this modern time he doesn't do two or three substitutions. He does one. People are doing five. That means the quality he's having doubt with his team. But why I'm bringing it up is he had the same issue in Leicester. He uses 15-man squad, and that is it. He doesn't go down. Okay, that is still all right. If you are winning, it's not a problem. But look at Jusby's Hall. You signed Jusby Hall, and you're giving him only one game to start. If you understand where I'm going
Yeah,
to. So
yeah,
who signed
yeah.
him? You signed
I
Jorgensen
know.
for 24 million, and you are not playing him, and you are still starting Sanchez. So you understand what I'm trying to say. So I'm having an issue. If
Well,
Jorgensen is not playing well, then I will say it's not his fault. But everybody has a part to play. Maresca, the club, and all those. Go and get Martinez. Go and get Calaya. Go and get Costa. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to sell them. Even if it's 3 years, you get from. Because right now, I can tell you, you and I, 100% don't know who's going to be the good keeper out of Jorgensen, Slonina, Pendas, and Petro. Sometimes it's so difficult. So you need like 3 years for the old goalkeeper to play, or I don't want to use the word old, but you are an experienced goalkeeper. Even if you take Van der Sar was finished when he went to Fulham, or when he left Juventus to Fulham, but he became one of the best. So it doesn't necessarily mean you need to buy a young person. Just get the team right. That's what I feel. Over to you.
yeah, I think goalkeeping is one. There's a lot of discussion about how football has the quality of general overall players has declined. as years has gone by. But I think one of the positions, or one of the most important positions that has declining quality in terms of the breadth of talent across top teams is the goalkeeping position. And I feel it's one of those situations, one of those issues where the role of a goalkeeper in a lot of teams in recent times has changed. It's gone away from being a traditional goalkeeper who's good at kicking it, good at claiming crosses, and good at saving shots. Now you also have to be basically an outfield player when you're playing for the best teams.
Yeah.
You can't play for Bayern Munich, you can't play for Man City, Inter Milan without being able to pass the ball at your feet. And I feel it's gone so far left that we've or people neglect the basics of goalkeeping,
Yeah.
like the high claims, the shot stopping. And with Chelsea's situation, it's a situation that has been it's snowballed into this big mess it's been now, where the initial problem, because Chelsea, they've always had good goalkeepers. Well, they've always had good from Cech, Courtois, Kudicini, even they had a very capable third choice in Harry Lario at the time. But since Courtois left the football club and Kepa came in, Kepa is still the world's records highest, world's most expensive transfer for a goalkeeper at 71 million. He still holds that record. And he came in from the first 6 months, first year, it was clear he wasn't really that
Yeah.
guy. He wasn't really that guy. Okay, then you fast forward,
I
you bring in
remember
an
him having
aging.
a game where he was just so it's hard.
No,
It's hard.
no, I think Kepa's good games are games where he doesn't face a lot of shots. And but when you call on him to make match winning saves or match winning moments, he fails at those moments. But with Chelsea, fast forward now to this Sanchez situation where you're forced to, I don't know, for whatever reason, I don't know why they decided to let Kepa go in the first place last season. Then you panic and you get Sanchez, who you know at the time wasn't first choice. He wasn't first choice. It was second choice at Brighton. He was third choice at Brighton when he left Chelsea because I think De Zerbi didn't really rate him as a goalkeeper. You get you get this guy in.
Yeah, continue. Hold on.
See what see what Sanchez has done to everybody.
He's crying also. Yeah, sorry.
So
Yeah. Look out,
yeah,
the
it's
baby
okay.
is crying. Yeah, continue.
Yeah. So you get a situation where you sign Sanchez, you have another young goalkeeper, but at every moment Sanchez has played in the Premier League, he's showing you who he is. Sanchez, he I don't want to sound harsh, but I think Sanchez is just legitimately not a good goalkeeper. There's no plus side. There's no plus side to him. I describe Sanchez as a net negative. Like no
And he
matter
doesn't
how
have the confidence. He doesn't.
no 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 matter how good he performs, he will let you down in different ways. You know what? He finds a way to let you down every week. Like he takes it like because like with some goalkeepers, you can say, okay, this goalkeeper is going through a bad time. He needs to be maybe he needs a bit of rotation, a bit of rest to get back in it. But with Sanchez, this is what Sanchez is. He will
Yeah.
continue to make mistakes, and you can see it's where his confidence is not there. The confidence of his teammates in him is not there. The, and the amount of I think basically Chelsea lose momentum whenever they're playing when Sanchez makes mistakes. You can see it yesterday with Chelsea's goal kicks. It was becoming an issue because Sanchez didn't know how to play out. He didn't know the basic understanding of you roll the ball to the centre back, he passes it back to you, then you find the pass. He couldn't understand. It took him. He was always delaying the kick. And whenever I took that kick, he misplaced the pass. He had the worst passing percentage yesterday on the pitch. It was under 50%. And if you look at the stats are actually are more damning than anything else. He's made 5 mistakes. No, six. He's made 6 mistakes leading to goals this season. That's more than that's more than Ederson, Alisson, David Raya, Keller at Liverpool, Matt Sales all combined.
Hmm. That's a lot.
No, no, it gets worse. He's also made 6 errors leading to shots.
So,
That's more than the best goalkeepers combined. Ederson, Alisson, David Raya, Martial Sells. Even you know what? Even Kepa.
But why is the coach? Let me give you another example of a goalkeeper that I know, not I feel is not so good. Martel Sells or whatever for Nottingham
Yeah,
Forest. You see it. But the coach makes it so easy for him. Keep the ball and play it out. But you you
yeah.
you, you understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah,
Yeah, I understand. But and I think another example of another example would be Ben Leno at Fulham, where Fulham don't try to do anything over sophisticated. They don't over sophisticate how they play. It's basic.
yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
you can
For
if you
now
can
to
pass it,
end of
pass
the
it.
season, you understand what I'm trying to say? That
Yeah,
doesn't mean you
understand.
abandon the philosophy, but for now to end of the
And
season.
but again, but I feel ultimately I feel this is what happens when you don't have stability in coaches. So
Yeah.
like for just and say last season you had Pochettino in charge. At some point, Sanchez gets injured. He leaves. He loses his number one shirt. Petrovic comes in as number one. Who Petrovic does quite well, in my opinion. He was obviously an upgrade on Sanchez. But at the end of the season, Pochettino goes. Then every player is back to square one again. So having proven not to be good enough for the previous coach, a new manager comes in. He decides to make you his number one goalkeeper. Then it's almost like I think goalkeepers is a position where you it's not that you earn it every day, but you lose your number one spot.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't you
yeah.
don't you don't rotate goalkeepers. You don't bring in one, take him out. Either if you have it, you lose it and you're done. Like we saw with Ramsey at Arsenal. We've seen it historically with Bravo at Man City and even the other guy Carrius at Liverpool. And it's a situation where he's coming. This Maresca, this new coach, he's giving this guy a shift. And at some point he will make that decision because Sanchez will just continuously playing bad that the coach will have to make a decision.
He continuously plays.
Because the sooner it does it, the better. But the more he lets that leaves it open, that it becomes gross negligence at the end of the day. Because that's a decision you can influence. You can talk about the club's overall transfer policy and whatnot, but you have to go keepers. You have to go keepers on your books. One has shown you he's not good. He's not been good for the last 4 years. But now I think
Yeah.
because now
But did he
so you,
sign Yogosen?
Youngest is
Because the disrespect to him is becoming understand. Like if I'm him, I'm thinking, what really, what did they really tell him?
yeah,
They,
I know,
they told him there's no how you. He was a starter in Villarreal.
yeah.
He was
But
a starter
again,
in Villarreal. You signed him from Villarreal to Chelsea. It's not like he's moved from one single division or the championship to Chelsea. So you would have told him that if you fight for your place or if you fight for the whatever, you'll be made number one. But he's
yeah,
at Chelsea where he had only one start. It was a bad start. I think Ipswich and we lost. But Sanchez have had multiple games. So you understand what I'm trying to say? Why don't you? So
yeah,
it's
yeah. I
Valencia
know,
giving
I
me a
know.
vibe like he didn't sign him.
Yeah, and no, but I feel again. I try to look at if you look at this Maresca situation, it's not it doesn't make sense. It's not adding up in my mind. But if you look at it in the broad context of how other big managers have handled their goalkeepers in the past, you see Jurgen Klopp stuck with Karius for the whole season until the Champions League final, where he made those costly mistakes. Pep stuck with Claudio Bravo for as long as he could
Yeah, yeah,
until
yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
had
yeah.
to make
But
it.
I,
And
I was
so
surprised. So bravo.
I,
I'm talking about.
but I say all this to just say it's the evolution of a team. It's the development. You can't come into a club in 6 months and figure out the best players immediately in 6 months. Sometimes it takes, and that's why I always, when it comes to this whole discussion about coaches, managers, and the owners and whatnot, I always say Chelsea will not achieve anything, or few clubs at the top level of football, they can't achieve anything if they continuously hiring and firing managers. Because what the unless unless you're a Tenago and
Yeah,
Postecoglou.
yeah.
But I feel we have a good manager in Maresca, but I also feel this football moves very quick and slow at the same time. So I think 6 months is in football is a big sample size. But I feel ultimately it's
Hold on, give me a second.
yeah.
Mm. Yeah, should be better now.
Okay.
So but let's just quickly go to
So
the second one. About
yeah,
sports. Spurs recorded one win in 11 games, 21 points lost from winning positions, which is the most in the Premier League. And also, they are 15th. If they are in 15th position, 8 points from 18th Wolves. So they are closer to relegation than going up. So 13 senior players injured. What do they what's next for Tottenham? Not Ange Postecoglou for Tottenham.
for Tottenham, for Tottenham, it's it's a tough one because I know it's I'm not the biggest Ange guy, and I doubt I ever will. But I feel with Tottenham, I don't think they can sack Ange right now. They will have to delay it until or after the second leg of the cup semi-final with Liverpool,
Yeah.
because they're going into that game with a goal of one goal advantage. There's a slim chance of them getting to another cup final. So I I expect Ange to remain in this position until then. But after then, whatever happens after that fixture, it's unclear. But I just feel the overall performance of Tottenham this season, it's been shocking. It's been appalling. I haven't seen a Tottenham side this bad in over a decade. This for a team that doesn't achieve much, a team that doesn't really win much, and where the expectations are quite low most times compared to the Chelsea's, Man Cities, and Liverpool's and whatnot.
Yeah.
How is managed to underperform so badly that is in a situation where he's in a relegation 6 pointer against Leicester City.
It is
And Leicester City that against Leicester City they haven't won a game in the last no win in 7 games until until they faced Tottenham. And I was watching the game. I said, okay, you know what? I understand you don't have to play perfect football to win. Just this is you're in survival mode right now. They had a game in Europe. They won. They had a tough game in Europe this midweek. They got the points. You come back. You score first against a team that's low on confidence. They're not in a good form. Very few players are playing off the level of up to a good level in Leicester City. You score first. I expect you to find a way to get the second, third goal, dominate the game, control the game, create chances. But it's just a bit flat. And
Do you
yeah,
think that
it's just
they can do you think Ange can remedy the situation? Do you think there's
well,
any way they can
no,
get a
I
good
don't,
run
no,
of
no,
game?
no, I don't think so
You feel it
because
will only go downhill from here.
yeah, and I know he's been for a manager that's always claimed to not always, or rather has always felt not to look for excuses whenever results don't go his way.
Yeah.
I feel he's been pushing the excuse, oh, we have so many injuries, we have so many injuries, we have so many injuries. But my question is, we saw Tottenham for large parts of last season. They were as bad as they are now. With everyone fit, Madison, the two defenders, the goalkeeper they were all present. The start of the season, most of these players were all there as well. But again, at what point do we point the finger to Ange? Okay, what exactly is happening? Why are all these players injured? If is because because it's no there's a strong link between how you train and how you play with the kind of injuries you sustain in your team and how you condition your team as well. It's no coincidence. I don't, once they have over 6 players with a hamstring injuries, that's no coincidence. That is not that is not down to luck. That is down to you're not doing something right. Either you're not preparing the players right in the right way to perform in your system how you want to play, and the recoveries are not well prepared, or the training is not tailored to balance the needs and the demands of a tough fixture schedule. But I just feel ultimately, again, it goes back to okay, you have these injuries. what is handball at its best. Even Tottenham's attack, whenever they, they struggle to create good chances. And that's how you can.
And you remember, Richarlison has been off and on. Odobel played like the
They
first
have
game he was injured. Solanke, I'm like, this is. And then he makes it so difficult. I was watching the replay of their game with Liverpool where Foster gets the ball. Instead of playing out wide, he's throwing it to the next defender. This is complicating issues. And if you look at Ant recently, you realize he's like a fallen man. At this point, I think he's just waiting for the sack later. You realize that he's no longer the same, the way he answered. You know, he used to be very
no,
bullying.
yeah, yeah. It always sounds very bright. He has all the answers. His football is the best. But I'll ask you a question: do you think the players in this team they've down tools on him? Do you think he's lost the dressing room?
I would have said no. But I've seen it happen to several managers in this particular club. So I think it's possible. I think
Yeah,
it's
because
possible.
I know, but I also feel it's a cheap. Well, it's not cheap
No,
because it
no,
is
but at
true.
the
You
same
can
time, the problem with Spurs, I don't really think is because if you look at the players, they don't really sign very, very bad players. Udogi wasn't really a bad player when he was signed. They've signed Kukulevsky. Okay, I agree he wasn't the best player at Juventus, but Juventus is the same club who let Hudson go. So they've let good players
yeah
go, they've let bad players go. Bentaco, I don't really rate him. You look at Pedro Porro, he's there with at least the best six uh, back. It's better than Matikash. Matikash is still starting for Aston Villa. I'm just giving you an example of teams.
yeah
Dodgy, it might not be as experienced as Digny, but at least he's still up there. You look at their central midfield, they have Pepesa, they have Bizuma. I'm so disappointed in Bizuma. Like, this is not the player I expected, but it happens. They have
yeah. His
Pepesa.
no his development has really stalled in the
It's so bad.
last year or so. But also
So,
also
what I'm saying is, it's a culture problem.
but
Lady has to step out from the club. It's a culture from the trainer. From
no.
like, I think they just feel so comfortable. It's a culture. It's in as much as Levy doesn't sign the best players, but he doesn't also do bad. Look at Bournemouth, they have better players. But the problem I'm having is from the kit man, from the canteen workers, from the dishwashers, from the cleaners. The club has a mental, and that is so difficult to shake up. That is
But
just so people people
yeah,
people give
yeah,
people
I agree.
give Roman the credit. People give Mourinho credit for Chelsea's success. But in as much as Mourinho should get the credit, Chelsea has been winning cup competitions. That's why it was easy for him to transmit or instill that
Yeah, yeah,
discipline from
exactly.
Vialli,
And
from
and
Zola. Yeah.
and also it's not just the winning, it's also the players you had on that Chelsea team. This is a Chelsea once a Chelsea have had players like what's the Dutch guy? I forgot his name. The Dutch midfielder.
We'll do it.
Exactly. Guys like Rodriguez, Zola, the later Vialli, those guys, they say these are guys that have won World Cups. They've won titles in Italy and in Spain. They've come to Chelsea. They help improve the culture of that team.
Even I
But I
think
also
George Weah
I
won
feel
an FA Cup with Chelsea.
exactly George Weah, Dennis Wise, those kind of players. I also I feel Tottenham since Tottenham moved into this new stadium, that's when it started going. They've lost their way. And since they moved to the stadium, they've had Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte, and Nuno,
No,
and
no.
obviously Ange now. And these are four managers with different styles. But these are very good managers. You can see how they've all performed this season. Conte at Napoli, Nuno at Nottingham Forest. These are good Premier League managers. But there's something in Tottenham, and it's gotten worse since they moved into that new stadium, where they don't know what kind of club they are anymore. Because when Tottenham that old stadium, even when they were at Wembley briefly under Pochettino, you knew what Tottenham would do.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
knew what the
yeah,
Tottenham
yeah.
team was. You knew okay, they will bring in. They always had they had a few young players from the academy around the first team. They had Kane, Son, obviously, but a lot of the transfers were not really good then either.
Yeah,
But they had a manager that could find. They had a manager that had the right balance because if you remember that team, they had there was Skywalker obviously left, but Trippier came in. The two Belgian centre backs,
yeah, yeah,
Moussa
yeah.
Dembele, Sissoko, Lamela, all those they had a lot of They had a lot. There was a sense to how they played. They had a sense of purpose of what they tried to accomplish. But now, just since they got into this new stadium, it's just lost. They've gone from, are they trying to be a team that wants to win right now with these players that are aging, Kane and Son? It didn't work. Okay, you want to be, let's try it again with another manager. We go with Conte. Conte came in. Conte had that infamous interview where he basically called the club.
Uh-huh.
He called he called out the club, called out the culture of the club, not just with the fans, like you said, down to the kitchen staff, the kitmen, everything.
Yeah.
He called it out. Then okay, we go left field. You go with no. But it's also important to remember that summer when they sacked Conte, they could not find it. They could not find a
They
first team
couldn't
manager.
find. They went to the former
And
AC, Paulo Fonseca. He couldn't
went
go.
to
They even went to
Fonseca.
Gattuso. It
They
just
went to
didn't.
live this. They apparently or reportedly they interviewed this Liverpool manager and a slot then, and they all basically turned down the job because at Tottenham, what is success for Tottenham? What is what is a good season for Tottenham? Is it finishing top four? And for how long can you keep on doing that? Where does it become? Where do you go that next level? And I feel with Stan Living, with the chairman. It feels the next level, or his idea of the next level for Tottenham was moving into this £1 billion stadium,
Uh-huh.
one of the best stadiums in European, in
Yeah.
just not just in football, but one of the best stadiums in Europe. A stadium that generates ridiculous amount of revenue on match days, and and it seems they've lost what made Tottenham. And I know it's always easy to say, but this is who they've always been. They've always been Spursy. Is the spirit of the Tottenham. But I feel Tottenham were always exciting, a fun team to watch. They always had a couple, two or three good players you enjoy
Yeah,
watching. Van der Vaart,
yeah,
Jermaine Defoe, Robbie Keane, Gina's Carrick. They always had good. But now I watch Tottenham. Even when they win or lose, I'm not excited by anybody in that team. I don't watch Tottenham. I don't get excited anymore. And it's not just this season. It's been the last 3 4 years. Their captain son is aging now, and I feel if you is how his football covers gone. I can say this is you can see the straight line with how Tottenham have been performing. Where he started declining. He's not won anything at Tottenham, but
yeah.
he's no longer the player he used to be. He's not really a winger anymore. He's not really a striker. He can still score goals, but his general play is not so good anymore. He's just there. And I feel and I go to Madison. I feel Madison is the player that capture what Tottenham are as a team because he's one of the most expensive signings and a player that where's Madison today? Apparently he's injured or he's sore. But whenever Tottenham like if you're a team with good players or
Yeah.
players that you believe to be good, when you're in tough moments, you need to count on the
Certain
Madisons, the
players.
Son. But in recent weeks, Madison has been more out of the team than in. And
He
this is
doesn't.
meant to be one of the captains in the team. So I feel it's tough. And
But if
I'm
he
not
was
sure.
that good, he would never have joined Tottenham because Leicester would not have sold him.
But even it's like, but even if it was that good, after Leicester got relegated, you don't go to Tottenham when clubs like Chelsea, Arsenal are all looking
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah,
attacking
yeah.
creative midfielder.
But
This
because Leicester was very Leicester. It was a narrow relegation. So if he was that good, be it 2 3 goals, 6 points or something, they could have secured.
yeah,
They would have stayed well.
and also before we go, we can also make the argument that he ultimately relegated Leicester because one of the final games of the season. They were going at it with Everton where it was basically whoever won that game, whoever lost that game, gets
Hmm.
relegated. And he misses a penalty, they lose that game, they get relegated and Everton stay up. So I just feel it's a player that's just not you don't put him in that bracket. You don't put him in the bracket of with the Odegaards, Ozils, the
No, no, no,
Palmer,
no, no,
those kind of players. And it's
no.
also
No.
the same for Tottenham. It's also the same for Tottenham where you can't put Tottenham with Arsenal, Liverpool, even Chelsea. I know Chelsea are going through it, but right now, but you can bet on Chelsea finding their way out of this
Not
before Tottenham
Tottenham.
find their identity. So I feel with Ange, he's just he's a dead man walking because even when these players come back, there's no guarantee they all stay fit. There's no guarantee the results improve. So end of the day, it's just
I'll patiently be waiting for when they announce its sacking. Let's go back to the next one. Is Bournemouth playing the best football in the Premier League this season? They are seventh on the table, and let me tell you, let me shock you. I check their records. Bournemouth have beaten Newcastle, Man City, Arsenal, for Tottenham, Nottingham Forest. These are the top four teams, and they've drawn with Chelsea.
Mhm. Because I'm looking at this, I'm looking at their stats. They scored 41 Premier League goals this season. That is same amount as Newcastle, just a bit behind Chelsea. And I feel yes, for me the answer is yes. I believe Bournemouth are the most exciting team in the Premier League right now, and not just in terms of how they play, but how the team has been built. Where they have these two young centre backs. One is 19, one is 21. They both play with black gloves, low socks. They have this amazing left back who's young as well. But I feel what makes them exciting is how they play. They're a team that one of the few teams in Premier League or even in world football generally that don't rely on possession.
No, they don't.
They don't. And if you watch their games, how quick they move the ball, how quick they move the ball from point A to point B, and how they attack with pace and power. You see, and I feel for me, one of the best players in the Premier League this season has been the wingers, Semenyo on Bournemouth. He's a player that whenever you see him play, he means business.
It creates a lot of
Semenyo,
chances.
you see him, Semenyo, players like Semenyo, Justin Kluivert, all these guys, even another player like Ryan Christie, Tavernier, all these guys are players that they've not really been, they've either been championship level or players that have not really found their
And
way.
they brought so many players, I think, came up with them. Something Cook came up with them. I think Christie came
Exactly,
up with them.
yeah,
And those
exactly, yeah,
guys have been, and they are so good. There's something you said yesterday, and that was true. In as much as Kepa is having a good season, but even when he doesn't play, I don't notice it. That tells you how good
yeah,
the team is. Like even when and they had like, is it 12 injuries or how many injuries? I was checking.
yeah, exactly,
Senator is
yeah,
not there. So many of their big guys are not there. Yet they are winning. So it
yeah,
tells you.
and it's also it
But I
shows
don't think he'll
the
be in Bournemouth next season.
we'll see,
You know why I don't
and
think so? I don't think so. This is why I don't think so. And it doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense
mhm,
to me. It just doesn't make sense to me.
yeah,
How
yeah,
football managers are ready to buy a player for 40, 50 million, but are ready for somebody to pay 10 million and release their managers. I don't understand that. If my manager is under contract, somebody has to pay the likes of 50 million under, because to me, the manager, maybe they are not
it's
sure.
yeah, no,
Because when I look at
it's
owners
true.
wasting time to pay 10 million, 6 million, I'm like, Hararena was like 7 million. I'm like, if you really need this coach and you feel he's that good, why is 7, 8 million? So
But
to
you know
me,
what?
yeah,
But you know one club who's done basically what you're saying. That's Chelsea.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
When Chelsea went to Brighton, they didn't just take the head coach. They took the head coach, the assistants, the analyst, the recruitment analyst, and they took
Yeah.
a sporting director as well, and a couple of players as well. So I feel what will probably happen is if whatever happens with Brighton with Bournemouth, people will see how they've done it, how they've been able to sign players that fit into what the coach wants on the pitch,
Mhm.
and and I always feel that's the disconnect when you bring in a manager and you have players or you have
Yeah.
people people who are in charge of transfers and where they don't really have that the styles don't really align because you're
Yeah,
signing
yeah.
players that don't really fit into what the manager needs. And it's one of those moves because even like West Ham, for example, West Ham brought Graham Potter in, and it's been reported that the current sporting director, the German sporting director, is on the way out
But the
because Graham
players the
Potter
guy signed,
wants.
do you have problems with the players with the West Ham director signed? I felt they were.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag, and so it's always a mixed bag when you sign players. It's always there are no the more you sign, the more you're likely to get some flops in it. But I
Mhm.
feel it's the relationship you need to get, and I always feel
Yeah, I
the
think it's a
synergy between this.
relationship because they say he was bad from entering the stadium when David Moyes was
Yeah,
there. So
exactly,
the relationship is so
exactly.
important. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you need to get that relationship with the sporting director and the guy and guys and the guy training and improving the players tactically, the head coach. But I feel with Bournemouth, what makes him so good is how they're not afraid to mix it up. And
Yeah.
I watched that game against Nottingham Forest today. They gave Nottingham Forest a um they gave them a different equation for they couldn't solve. But Nottingham Forest this season, they've always been they will absorb pressure,
Mhm.
little possession, they'll counter, they get the goals. They have a few players that are very good in both boxes.
Yeah.
The goalkeepers, defenders, and Chris Wood up top. But yesterday it was reverse. They away to Bournemouth. You know what? You're second in the table. Play
Yeah.
like it. You keep the ball. You create chances. And when every single time Nottingham Forest could not find that pass,
Mhm.
Bournemouth were quick to carry. They were
But I mean,
threatening on the counter.
yeah, yeah.
They were attacking with 4, 5, 6 players at the time. Fullbacks going forward. Two wingers, two number 10s or one striker. I also feel it's and I also add and this also comes when after they lost their probably their best player last season, Solanke
And also they
to
lost
Tottenham.
their director or something who went to
That
Liverpool
who
recruitment
went
or
to
something.
who went to Liverpool.
Was it last summer or last season?
Then this summer
This
he
summer.
went
Oh.
after
Okay,
yeah.
so we can't really judge for now. I get what okay, continue.
Yeah, but you know, but I feel right now for me he'll be up there with one of the managers of the season because they have this injury problem. They have no fit striker on their books at
So
the minute.
he's not of the that guy is
But
manager of the season for me. Oh no, no, with
from
Nottingham Forest manager, the boat, whoever wins it.
okay, yeah, true. But I feel but
But
how
people
they
vote
this
for Iraola more for he plays more
yeah
interesting football.
yeah
That's
he's
the
I know, but you know, even I think also that the appearance of him is Spanish. All those helps. But the amount of goals they score, they have numerous players that have scored hat tricks this season.
and they have the smallest stadium in the Premier League for
Yeah,
audience,
exactly.
like
Yeah,
18,000 population. That tells you
yeah.
that you
It's
can achieve it.
no, but it's because how Justin Cleverett is playing right now. He's something else.
Forest.
He's looking he's looking like the real deal. But you know what? Shout out to them. I think they've done fantastic work so far. But the challenge will be where's
So
the how can you sustain how far can you go when you start selling players when you have to replace the manager? How can you
yeah, yeah. How can you do
navigate
that?
this? How can you breach it? But I'm very happy what I see from them this season. They're fun to watch.
Let's go to the last one. And Arsenal. Do you think Arsenal have been derailed by refereeing decisions? This season,
After,
they've been hard done
yeah,
by referees.
no, it's when I think, was it the game against Brighton a few weeks ago when they gave away that penalty? And I know there's a
Oh,
lot of
they
Arsenal
had
fans.
problem with Brighton twice. I just remember
Yeah,
the first one, Declan
yeah,
Rice was sent off the last time, if you remember. It was Brighton.
yeah. So it's
Was
Brighton. So, but I know a lot of Arsenal fans on socials they shout conspiracy. Oh, they are trying to get us. They are trying to stop us. And well, like not really. It's just yeah, he deserved that one. Yeah, okay. No, what he did was silly. He deserved it. But in recent weeks, I've come to the I've come to just understand like you know what they actually do have a point. It's not just the red card. It's the kind of decisions Arsenal gets. You won't see it anywhere else.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You, we've both been watching football. The penalty they gave on Saliba on the striker the other day, I don't think I've ever seen it before. The one Declan Rice's red card against Brighton earlier in the season, and Trossard's red card against Man City as well. We've
Yeah,
not seen it happen in the Premier League since.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Even statistically, it doesn't make sense. So Arsenal statistically they've played 17.5% of their season with 10 men. And
What did you say?
if
Arsenal play what?
they play 17.5% of this season with 10 men.
I didn't know
And
that.
with I'm with a team that's trying to achieve what they're trying to achieve. We're trying to do what they're trying to do.
And I saw another stat yesterday. Was it? Hold on. Saw it yesterday. I had to write it down.
What was
Uh,
it?
yeah. Arsenal the only side that have won more games with a man down. I think since the history of the was it? I forgot. It will be on our
Yeah,
page.
yeah,
Is it
it's
because
probably true because
it's not that they're winning a lot, but they've won almost half.
they get
The
they
percentage is
get
very.
they get. It will be interesting to see what's how many records that Arsenal got in the last 20 years in Premier League,
I checked it.
and
It
it's
was very very high because you'll be thinking if you're having this number of red cards, then how are you winning games? But it was so
yeah,
impressive. I saw it yesterday. I was like,
it's
ah,
you can say it's a discipline, but I feel they find different ways or new ways to send an Arsenal player off every week. And this latest one, the sending off of the younger Louis Kelly this weekend,
mhm.
is probably one of the worst refereeing decision you ever see. I don't know how a referee that's as good as Michael Oliver, because he's the referee on the day, a referee that has sent off eight
Hmm.
Arsenal has given a red card to Arsenal 8 times in his career, more than any other club. This is Arsenal's version of Anthony Taylor.
That's why I strongly feel just that we fans, when the other guy who was caught on television sniffing a white substance was made, why is
David
it
Cooks.
that? Why is it that there's a particular team that every time common sense just tells you why is it that there's a team? Do you referee different from the way every other person referees? You understand what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say?
yeah,
So I
yeah, yeah,
think
yeah,
sometimes they have their emotions why
yeah, and
why referee.
and 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 also because you can pull out the conspiracy. Oh, like, oh, I feel this referee is refereeing us differently than refs every other team. That you can normally you brush that aside like, oh, come on, that is you're just saying that it happens to everyone. But when
Mhm.
you have the statistical numbers behind it, and when you have what you can see as red cards, penalties, it doesn't make sense. And I feel it's high time football fans need to all agree on this point. This is not something that's up for
Yeah,
for
but you
division.
know the problem is if it doesn't affect you, if another person is crying foul, you
Yeah,
you say he's whining. Nobody
yeah, exactly.
nobody
No,
finishes a
no,
game and say like the red not the red card. It was a yellow card and the penalty they gave to Saliba. It was against Brighton last week.
yeah.
My only problem is because I find it.
I, I don't think, I don't think that's a penalty.
But hold on, it should be a penalty. This is why. This is what I feel. David Luiz did it to Jimenez. Jimenez nearly stopped playing football for it. He was never the same after that incident,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There's so many incidents where somebody hits somebody at the back and they fully know. So is it that the board should be like if you hit someone and his career ending injury, they increase
Oh, yeah,
your
yeah,
but
yeah.
all I'm saying is that if David Luiz have done that and then there was no red card or yellow, there was no penalty or whatever. All I'm trying to say is that they should continue with it. Be consistent.
Yeah.
Now
I
you've given
understand.
Saliba that.
I
Tomorrow
agree.
somebody else will do that. He won't get the card. So what are you
Agree.
doing? You understand what I'm trying to say? If that
Yeah,
is the law,
exactly.
let it remain the law. Yeah.
Yeah, but with this specific instance that happened this weekend against Arsenal and the Arsenal Wolverhampton Wanderers, that's that that sending off offense is a tackle you see at every level of football. It's a tactical
Yeah.
foul. At at worst, it's a yellow card. But the fact that you give that red card, you have the ability with the video assistant referee VAR
To
to
review it.
what to review it again and still stick to that decision. And that was it. But you still have the PGMOL that standing behind the decision that was the right call to make. Football fans are not stupid. We all know that is never a right card. And I want again for football fans, football clubs, owners, and whatnot. This should be one unit. They should all get behind it. The standard of refereeing in the Premier League is the
It's
worst it's
gone
ever
down.
been. The worst it's ever been.
It's gone down.
Yesterday, I saw they gave the Everton striker in a yellow card for celebrating. Not that he just basically did a bed flapping gesture towards the away home fans. And he got booked. He didn't jump. He didn't go to the He didn't go in front of the referee. He just did it when he went
Yeah, yeah,
away.
yeah.
He didn't take the shirt off. He got a yellow card. It's I find every day
But it's
it's bad.
taking the
And we
excitement from football because at the end, that is the sort of thing we want to watch, we want to talk
Yeah,
about. It's not just
exactly. And
the goals.
just like again, I'll go back to earlier in the season. One of the most anticipated games every season, the Arsenal Man City game. And the first one this season, Arsenal were leading 2-1. They were playing very well. Man City were struggling. But from nowhere, one a player gets sent off, it changes the game. I, d- I personally don't want to be watching football games where guys are
I
getting
don't
sent
enjoy
off.
I don't enjoy red cards.
It's no, it's spoils the game. If there's valid conduct, if a player has made mistimed the tackle, I get it, you give it, but not for silly things like, oh, I'm giving you a second yellow card for kicking the ball away
Yeah.
in a game as big as an Arsenal Man City. I don't feel it doesn't make sense. But and you see, like take Palmer for example. Palmer has been on the end of some bad tackles this season that have not resulted in red cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather have players being protected from bad challenges, malicious talent tackles, than players getting sent off for kicking the ball away. When it
But it
doesn't
wasn't
make
Tottenham.
sense.
I think they've abandoned that kicking ball away.
It's, it's not happened again. There's only Arsenal have had two red cards from that situation. It doesn't make sense. So I know I know because I was watching the game and for the first time I was like, you know what? I hope Arsenal win this game because this is BS. It's you can't it's spoiling the game because it takes away from the overall discussion of football. We're talking about refs. And when you have refs and the refereeing organization that refuse to own up to decisions, yeah,
They will cover
it's
one of their own.
it's like the mafia right now, where we're all sworn in with to blood oaths. We don't go against each other. If you make a mistake, I'll back your mistake. We'll go to war on your mistake. We'll die on that hill of that mistake. We'll kill for it. I always find it's always easier to find. It's always easier to move on when you accept mistakes and you go forward.
Yeah.
But what you shouldn't do is just is this whole I believe there's a cover up. In the next couple of days, you see they'll get out the two big guys in English football, Gary and Jamie, to come and defend this decision. You see, I promise you to happen. Monday, Tuesday, you see it. They'll come out and defend the decision. They'll say, "Oh, why Arsenal fans crying? It's just one mistake. It doesn't change anything." Work. Oh, refs. We need to protect refs. There are very few of them in the game. You know what? If that, see the few we have are bad. I'm, I hope at some point AI gets involved because that's the thing I'm saying was. If you can get AI artificial intelligence to run this thing, they might as well do it. Because if it then messes up, you know there's a problem with the code. There's a problem with the source code. Then you tweak
Especially
it.
when you view it and you see it. Like I don't.
It's an insane decision. Because I was on there, I was watching the Bournemouth game.
And
I was
I,
on. Then I went to social. I saw a red card. For one of the like you see a lot because you follow different people, like you follow some Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans. But when you
yeah.
see everyone just like, oh fuck, this is bad. This is never a red card. Then you see it with your eyes. I say, oh, you know what? He got sent off for that in a Premier League game. That's silly. That's unacceptable. And this is one of those moments I wish we had a manager like Jose Mourinho in this Premier League because he's one of the few that's willing to just say, you know what, whatever happens will happen. I'll say what I need to say. I need to get if I need to wait for you in the car park in front of your car, I'll do it. And that's what I need to do. I need to go to Stockley Park where the home of the video assistant
Yeah.
referees. I need to wait in the car park. He needs to play his Monday, go to Stockley Park, wait in the car park for them. I need an explanation. Why is this always happening? Because it doesn't make sense.
The
And
particular
when
team,
you're
yeah.
trying when you're challenging against City, Liverpool, it's tough because Arsenal they've had that issue this season, injuries, overall performance of some players. But when you're playing games with 10 men in Premier League, it's tough. It's really
So
tough. You lose a lot of points, and then and it's I'm not God forbid me defending Arsenal fans. I can't stand them, but I can't what. But more than my hate for Arsenal fans is my love for football. And these red cards Arsenal have been
Blindly.
getting this season particularly, all of them are they're all a disgrace. You can say it's the letter of the law, but why isn't that law being applied across the board?
Of course,
Why is
oh,
it
but
only
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
That's what I'm
Arsenal?
saying. It still left your
It's
digestion because remember the handball. It's like the remember it was Newcastle and somebody was in Bournemouth where he hit Jarlinton on the hand and then he went inside and they didn't blow it. And I even though they had it was Tottenham, but I felt that if I
yeah,
was a referee, I don't really think I'm going to. I still leave it because
yeah,
even if it's a penalty, I won't blow that as a penalty.
yeah,
So
exactly.
whatever the law says is still at your discretion. You look at it, you make your own interpretation.
Exactly.
That's why you're
It has
saying. If not, someone
it's
like me
still
will just I'll read the book and I'll wear the jersey and then I'll go and start blowing whistles. You are trained for it. The referee is
exactly and I also feel I feel is this like when you watch Champions League games, for example, when you watch games at international tournaments, World Cups, Euros, you barely notice the refs. That barely
yeah.
they don't have moments where they stop the game, they're talking, that they take away attention from the game and put it on themselves. They're just observing the game and directing traffic basically. But in Premier League, I always feel this when they have this they always feel they need to be the piece of their attention. They need to get that where you see this they're giving silly yellow cards away, silly decisions. It's not making sense. And when you're going and also like refereeing is a subject. A lot of calls are subjective, but there are some
Mhm.
calls that you also have to understand the nature of the game you're refereeing in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And that's
yeah,
what and like for example like the Chelsea game yesterday where that kid makes a mistake, gets a yellow card. Mm, I honestly won't get mad if at that point the ref says, you know what, I'm not giving you a yellow card here. If you've had a
yeah.
bad start, this is your last warning.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you need to keep the flow of the game. Because always stopping, giving yellow cards, past talking to players, it takes away from the game. The
It
game
takes a
loses its flow. So
and which is one of the basic complaints of baseball, the American baseball. There's so many breaks. It just kills the vibes and
it
the game.
it it feels they have to come out and just be, you know what, be upfront about it. Proper communications. You where you know if you come out when if it's I don't know if it's Howard Webb or one of them come out, okay, what's it happening, why has this been giving us red cards in all this game in our games but across the rest of the Premier League. Well, it happens, it happened yesterday. I think it was Maduke that there was a foul, he kicks the ball away. Nothing happens. In fact, nobody's asking for a yellow card. You don't see players going like this, oh right, book him,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
kicked the
yeah,
ball
yeah.
away because it doesn't make sense. It's not. It's really. It's get to the point. It's getting to the point where we need to. This I feel in terms of Premier League football. This alongside the profit and sustainability rules are two of the biggest issues in football. This and the overall ticket prices as well.
Mhm.
Those are some of the issues that need to be tackled in Premier League because ultimately, like with ticket prices, people are getting priced out of going to games. It's spoiling that. It spoils the occasion. Refereeing decision spoils games, and PSL ruins the overall feeling of football when you develop a player, but you feel you have to sell it for profit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
If
yeah, yeah.
these three things don't get addressed, it's Premier League will just eat itself alive. Because we can't say this is the best Premier League. This is the best league in the world when we have this nonsense
It
happening.
doesn't help the local or the home or the academy players
It don't,
because they have to they are looked at as money as cash. So they have to be shipped
yeah.
away in
So,
order to make money.
but I think that's enough ranting about referees. Well, what else do you have for me before we go?
That should be. Oh, what was the score for Manchester United? Fulham 0-0.
United are winning 1-0 with Sandro Martinez.
Oh, okay. I was so disappointed with Chelsea. It's been a long time. That's the one thing. And then what else?
Yeah, look, but I'm looking at the Premier League form table. Man City are currently the informed team in the Premier League.
They're currently doing what?
They are currently currently the informed team in Premier League. 4 wins, 1 draw out of the last five. They're,
But with me
they're,
watching them yesterday, I felt Chelsea were just so bad. I don't think City were just
yeah,
so.
well, you're all true, but also,
The
but I'll
system,
say
the high line was too high.
but you have to, if you're, it's
But
one of those,
it
because
lacked intensity. If you match it with
exactly,
intensity, there was
that's
no
that's what,
intensity. So you can't keep a high line without intensity of
ex,
pressing.
exactly, that's what I was trying to communicate to you yesterday, because we were talking at halftime. It's not really the setup per se, it's the application of the setup. And when I mean, it's how you press. Like, for example, the first goal for Man City. You have not, if you go man to man across the pitch. I think one player that had a fantastic game yesterday, despite not scoring or assisting, was the guy who made his debut, Omar Mamouche, because he brought to Man City something they've lacked in the last, I say last 2 years. He brought pace to that team, pace in attack. Besides Erling Haaland, because
Mm.
Haaland was always marked, but the runs he was always making in behind all the time. He was running across the pitch, dragging Rhys James, dragging Chalobah all over the pitch. Well, back to the first goal. If Noni Madueke sees Guardiola all the way from there, he tracks him all the way back. That is your man. You stick with him. But what you don't do is you let that guy go, and at the same time, you've dropped so deep, you keep him on side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm back to the pressing. When you have guys, can you really be a functioning pressing team? Not just, I think you can get away with it playing against other teams, but playing against
The
a
big
team
side.
that has not even that, but the quality Man City, because Ederson will always find his pass, no matter how quick he gets pressured or wherever trouble he finds himself, he always finds his passing. You have guys like Akanji. These are guys that are good on the ball. The only the part I don't like with, and I also ultimately again football, you can just, if you, there's a lot of discussion around football, but you can just narrow it down, condense everything down to how good are you in both boxes, and that's where football games are won. Everything around it is,
Yeah.
sometimes we talk about a lot of it, but how good are you in both boxes? And I feel yesterday Man City were fantastic in both boxes. Erling Haaland, obviously fantastic striker. Akanji at the back, what they did in defense. But ultimately, when you have a guy like Sanchez, that, because the moment that second goal goes in, it was Man City were not really in the game, and that's when people say Man City played well. At that moment in time, Man City had about 2 or 3 touches inside Chelsea's box in that second half before the goal went in.
Uh-huh.
So it wasn't really that they were playing fantastic or this or that team were playing fantastic, but it comes down to that margin where if that action happens and there's a better goalkeeper with better judgment in post, he makes the right call. That doesn't result into a goal or whatever. You're still in the game, and that's one all. You can go on and win the game. That's one moment. But I feel the another crucial moment was when you're 1-0 up, you press high, you win the ball back. You're 2v1, and I feel
Bafana
this is an
decides to
attack.
pass the ball to Jackson. Like,
And this is this is the sequence I've seen Chelsea in the last few years. Chelsea always find a way to make the wrong choice, because once you're in that moment, I expect you to pass the ball to your team, because that's statistically the better chance, because that's the better angle and goal. But if you're a player like Cole Palmer, I expect you to shoot. I expect you to take
yeah.
responsibility there. Very few players, Kevin De Bruyne might be one of them, that okay decides to make the smarter choice, passes the ball. I don't think Mo Salah passes in that situation. I don't think Erling Haaland passes in that situation.
No, no, no.
So when you're in that situation, I don't get mad if you attempt the goal, because you have a good view of the goal, because you're Cole Palmer, you are the guy, you are the guy of this team. I won't get mad at if you, even if you shoot and you don't score, I won't get mad at it, because I expect you to take responsibility. But when you don't get a shot off and you decide to pass, and the pass isn't as good or as accurate as it needs to be,
Yeah.
you miss that opportunity to go 2 goals up away at Man City in the first 10 minutes.
And it would have
And
been
that's
so
and
difficult for City to come back if they were ahead.
yeah, exactly, because
Yeah.
it's a different game. But again, I know that there's a lot of, that's like, I have one rule: I don't argue with people on social media, because first of all, I don't know these people. So like, so both of us, we can go back and forth for hours just talking about ball, Chelsea and whatever. But I feel there's been a lot of discussion about Chelsea in the last 24 hours. I feel it's always
I got so
football.
emotional. It's been long. I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
like the loss was like, I don't even know why. Maybe, guy, this I found out for 11 games we've not beaten City. Damn,
That's
since that final.
no. Again, it's not your City. We've not beaten Arsenal, Man City. Chelsea's last win against Arsenal in the Premier League was when Lampard was the coach. The last time we beat Liverpool in the Premier League was Thomas Tuchel's first 3 months as Chelsea head coach. Last time we beat City was obviously Thomas Tuchel as well. This is no coincidence. These are the three. You say these are the three. These have been the three best teams in the Premier League in the last 5 years. It's no. I don't think there's coincidence in the fact that these are the three teams that have had up until this season. These are the teams that have had the longest serving coaches at those clubs: Klopp, Arteta, and Pep. And again, my message will always be before you build, you need that foundation. You need a coach that comes in, looks at his players, looks at all he has, and over time you can judge and say, okay, this is not good enough. This is not good enough. You take pieces. But the constant chopping and changing, it's
Just for the
it's
sake of
turned
it.
it's turned no, it's I think it's one of the worst things you can do as a football club
Remember the
because
last
it's
one.
exactly. It's and again they're about to do the same thing again in the championship. They've been doing the same thing in the championship, and they're nowhere close to coming back to the Premier League. It stunts development of players, it stunts development of the World Club, and ultimately you waste more money that way because we've seen with United now. United will have to go into the summer, they have to spend money again. They're catching, they're constantly correcting mistakes they've made with the previous manager. Because just say for example, you sack Maresca, for example, and you somehow manage to convince a guy like Julian Nagelsmann to leave the German national team, come to Chelsea, or a guy like Inzaghi at Inter Milan to come to Chelsea. Inzaghi will come to Chelsea and say, okay, you know what I need? I need attacking wing backs. When you've probably had one of the best attacking wing backs, at least in the last few years, Ben Chilwell, not been
Mm.
able to play this team, or is probably going to move on. You're going to go back again, buy attacking wing backs, buy 2 or 3 centre back. It's just, and I think for me, regardless of how Chelsea perform this season, Maresca it's not necessarily a free hit, but he gets another year for me because I want to see how this team develops with a manager that's been there with that stability, with the
Mm-hmm.
coaching. Because we've seen it when Pep Guardiola came to this Premier League, it's really tough. He the first year around he found it really tough, and that's when he made some signings the first year. I was like, okay, no, you know what? I got it bad. Bravo, you're not good enough. Nolito, you're not good
Mm-hmm.
enough. Kolarov, you're not good enough. Sanya, you're old, you're too old. Clichy, you're not good enough. Made all those changes. Brought in the guys, the Sanes, Edersons, and just Ederson's son, Walker. Those have been the same guys that have carried Man City from that start up until this
Yeah.
season. So you need time to find is Sancho the guy. I personally don't really Sancho in the Premier League. But you need to find out Sancho the guy in this team. If he's not, then you move him out. Then you find the necessary improvement. And it also is just but I feel with Chelsea, it's one I don't think it will happen because there's the disconnect between the fans and this new ownership is so big whenever results
So
don't go
yeah,
Chelsea's
yeah,
way.
Tico.
It's and some because 2 months ago Chelsea won a title race where Chelsea had the opportunity of going top with a win away at Everton.
Mm-hmm.
So this not literally literally a month ago, not a couple of days, literally to the day a month ago, you could have gone top of the table. Now we've had this bad form, and it's how you find your way. This is what you learn about the team, what you learn about the coach, and this whole it's not good because if you could say back then, oh, the sporting director, because that's what everybody was saying. Oh, sporting director, they've done so good, everything's so good, but now it's sporting directors are bad. You can't sack sporting directors every season. It doesn't happen. You can't. It won't happen. You can't sack sporting. You can't. Okay. Oh, so they're not good. Sack them. Bring another one. Oh, it turns out to be not good. I sack him again. It's like it's any company, any team, because like the biggest companies don't sack CEOs
No, no,
every
no,
quarter,
no,
every
no, no,
season,
no, no.
every year. You get okay. We've had a bad quarter, bad 2 quarters. Then you move him on, you bring someone else. He gets time, settles in, makes the right changes. Then you evolve, but constantly changing. And I feel what I see Chelsea the thing Chelsea needs more than any striker or goalkeeper is stability. They need they need the opportunity to know that, especially if the players just because imagine you like a player like Enzo Fernandez. You've been at Chelsea how many years now? about 4 years, 3 years now. He's had how many coaches at Chelsea? Potter, Lampard, Pochettino. He's had four coaches at Chelsea already.
Hmm.
And these are four coaches that have all tried to play him in different ways. One wants to play him as the six, one wants to play him as the 10,
Mhm.
one is playing him as an eight. So this, how does that improve Enzo Fernandez? How does that improve the overall feel? Because if you, and again the message is sent, because if you sack him again, you end up in a situation where like Bayern this season, where you have a long
They
list of
sacked,
coaches.
they sacked him before they got it second choice, where they
you
started going.
you have this you have this long list of coaches where you can't get you at least you have 10 names on it, and no, and they all refuse, all turning down, because it's nobody wants to go into nobody wants to go to that environment where even if I win a title, it's still not good enough. So
Aggressive.
what is success? I have to win the Premier League, I have to win the title and the Champions League. But how many teams have won the Champions League in the last 10 years? Real Madrid win 80% of the Champions League. And it again. It's see, nobody likes losing. This is Chelsea. A lot of Chelsea fans, these days grew up with Abramovich. They know this is not working. It's not working. I'll sack a manager 6 months, and new one comes in, new manager bounce. We ride that manager bounce all the way to an FA Cup trophy. He leaves, you bring another manager. Not good, sack him again. But we can all say there were a few managers we sacked. Now you look back at, you know what,
Mhm.
that was not the right call. Sacking Mourinho the first time, I don't think was the right call. Sacking Ancelotti the first time wasn't the right call. Sacking Sarri even the first time wasn't. It's not the right call, because I just feel it's, you all have to find a middle ground where you can talk about the game in isolation, talk about the performance in isolation,
Mhm.
but not talk about the overall thing. Where sometimes you play well, you win games. Sometimes you play well and you don't win. But sometimes you play bad and you win, you don't win. It's just that's how I always judge on the performance. I don't think a lot of people will say yesterday's performance was good, but I felt at parts of that game, I was looking at it, the shape we had. I was. This is my opinion. At the end of the day, I was impressed with the shape we had against a team like Man City. I just felt we lacked a bit of we lacked a bit
Intensity,
of
aggressiveness, and then
no
pressing.
no 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 not really intensity. I feel what we lacked what a team like Atletico Madrid have, or a team like I feel we lacked what a team like Atletico Madrid have, or a team that's coached by Conte or even Mourinho back then, where it's a big game away from home.
Mhm.
You don't necessarily need to outplay Man City to win that game. You don't necessarily need to even play well attacking wise to win that game. You already had a goal. You already had a goal up. All you is the game management. That's what I'll say. Is how you say, okay, this is the last 5 minutes of this game, guys. Tight, keep it tight. You drop a bit deep, keep it tight. Not don't give them any chances. If you have goal kicks, don't pass it out the back. You pass it forward. You
Yeah.
fight for the ball up there, then you come back. All those little, because they'll tell you, like, it's how you, especially in cup games, where you start the game, you manage the first 10 minutes, you build with the first 10 minutes. The next 10 minutes, next thing, you all accumulate to performance. And I feel that's been Chelsea's problem this run of Barcelona, where we've not really managed games well. Especially because a lot of those games we scored a goal. We've always been a goal up. We've always been a
Frank,
goal up, and we've
yeah, I'm listening.
well, yeah. Just wrapping up. We've always been a goal up, but we've given away the lead. And I always say you can win a game 1-0, but I don't think Chelsea can win any game 1-0, regardless of the position.
No,
Well, if
but
you're playing like this,
it's too bad now.
it's bad. It's bad because you don't. First of all, you don't have a goalkeeper that you can count on to make those saves that keeps the score 1-0.
I think
Even
Everton
if
was the
even
last zero clean sheet we kept.
I think there was another one. Everton,
Brentford and Everton it was so bad. Like
there's we don't keep clean sheet, and it's something that needs to be resolved, and it doesn't take just signing players doesn't change it, because you can go sign another player, you go sign another done. And I was looking at it, for example, comparing to Man City. Man City, they've gone out, they signed a striker for 70 million pounds thereabout. but it's a guy that can also played wide yesterday. But in the last 3-4 years, they signed Grealish, Doku, Savinho, and they've added this guy again. So I think sometimes it's just a matter of you keep on doing it
Yes,
until you
yes,
find the right
yes.
guy. And if you ask me what gone to head, okay, you know what, you're sporting right of Chelsea, who is this goalkeeper you go get that elevates the team? Honestly, I'm not sure. I was watching Everton highlights yesterday. I was like, you know what, Pickford might not be a bad goalkeeper for Chelsea. Oh. And that's when that's when I caught myself like, no, 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 no. No, Pickford, no, no. It can't work. So I feel you just have to find solutions to it. But it's been a long day. I think let's end it on that note.
That should be all for us today. Please subscribe, like, share,
Say
comment, and then
comments.
come back for us next time around. Thanks a lot.
Okay,
Have a good
good
one.
talk. Catch you later. Bye.
Bye.